The meeting began with announcements and recognitions. Parks and Recreation's Elijah Ramos was recognized for earning his Certified Park and Recreation Professional designation. There was one item from Council. Councilwoman April Butler requested information from staff about options to assist local businesses that were affected by the recent boil water notices. Staff researched other cities that provided some form of relief after issuing boil water notices, including cities with more severe issues like E. coli contamination or with boil notices lasting up to 2 consecutive months. Some cities established grant programs in these more severe cases, but in cities where the boil notices were shorter and less severe, relief was focused on utility billing credits, similar to what was offered in Victoria. This presentation was solely for informational purposes, and Council did not provide any further direction. There was one item with a public hearing. Council approved a budget amendment to resurface the parking lot at Riverside Golf Course. Funding for this project will come from the Riverside Park Golf Course Fund. Council is expected to award a contract in September. Council took action on 7 more items following discussion. Council amended a local resolution to authorize the city manager to execute contracts up to $100,000, which brings us into alignment with state legislation. Council approved an interlocal agreement with Victoria County to reconstruct Northside Road between Navarro Street and Parsons Road, with the city funding the portion of the road within city limits. The project is expected to be completed in October. Council renewed the city's bulk fuel supply contract with New Distributing Company Incorporated. Council approved a variance request to place a manufactured home older than 20 years on a residential lot and upheld the requirement to provide proof of intent to occupy the home. Council also denied a variance request for a metal fence at a residential property. Council appointed 3 members to the Planning Commission. Adam Daughtry and John Hike were newly appointed, and David Brown was reappointed. Council also reappointed all 5 existing members of the Food Establishment Appeals Board: Emmanuel Opeda, Ricky Mumford, Louis Neitch, Roland Rodriguez, and Jeff Cano. Next, Council heard a city manager report from Community Development Planner Zachary Wendell and Victoria County Public Health Department Community Health Worker Lisa Kiner on the 2024 Victoria County Health Assessment Report. The assessment was conducted by the Health Department in partnership with the city and other local agencies and included surveys, discussion groups, and official data sources. These sources highlighted trends of poor physical and mental health in our community, as well as difficulty accessing food, housing, and other needed resources. This detailed analysis of our community's health needs will better equip the city and other agencies to meet those needs. Finally, Council and staff held a work session on the proposed budget and tax rate for next fiscal year. During a previous City Council meeting where the City Manager officially introduced the fiscal year 2026 budget and tax rate, Council voted to formally propose increasing the tax rate to $0.482 per $100 of property valuation. An increase in the tax rate would be needed in order to generate additional revenue next year due to a decrease in total appraised values. However, Council members expressed interest in exploring some other tax rate options. City Manager Jesus Garza presented additional options based on the no new revenue rate and 2 smaller tax increases that would generate less additional revenue in comparison to the proposed tax rate. The presentation also included projections of how these different strategies would impact property tax revenue over time.
Because it is easy to just address it in a one-time snapshot, right? But what we need to think about is that compounding effect and the impact that a tax rate decision has in years to come.
Garza also discussed the possibility of redeeming additional bonds ahead of schedule, which would decrease the INS rate in fiscal year 27 and provide greater flexibility should appraised values decline or stay flat again. Council will continue to communicate with staff and provide additional direction ahead of the next City Council meeting, when Council will take its first formal vote to adopt the tax rate for next fiscal year.
I can tell you now that I'm probably somewhat below the voter approval tax rate, and for me, it's looking at one of those 2 middle rates and figuring out, okay, which is the one that we can live with and move forward. Because again,